and hostesses at Lagoon really make and break us. And we have shopping services where people come into the park incognito and spend a day at Lagoon and rate each employee they come into contact with.
That's right, Lagoon has spies. Someone in this line might be taking notes, and employees get cash bonuses for a perfect score on an undercover rating.
Good luck. Have fun.
Most of the young workers we talk to here at Lagoon say they do have fun. So much fun that many keep coming back for management training, like Leanna Baxter, who's been here 6 years, and Todd Hyatt.
It's real fun. You get to meet a lot of people. You get used to working with other people, so it's a job that would be good to use with other jobs.
Have a great day at Lagoon. Please walk to the exit. Do not run.
We want you to hear that clearly, because at Lagoon, though their hearts may be in it, it's not always easy to understand the message.
Have a nice day here at Virginia Pioneer
But take our word for it, they really want you to...
Please keep your arms and your legs inside the ride at all times. Hold on tight and have fun.
Was it fun?
Yep.
Great, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You guys have a fun ride.
Okay.
Have a nice day at Lagoon.
Do not shut up, thank you, and have fun.
Okay. Really looks like a fun summer job for a teenager.
It does.
How many do they have working here in the summer?
Right now they have 1,400 on the payroll. Those are just seasonal, though. There are 75 employees approximately year-round.
And how many of the 1,400 do they have come back from year to year?
Well, those incentive programs I mentioned in the story apparently work because they have about a 30% repeat every year from past employees. Sometimes a young person will start in high school and work all the way through college. They offer some scholarships, I should say.
One of those employees just fired up the Scallywag. Have you had your boys to Lagoon and been on the rides here in Kittyland?
Couldn't wait to bring them here. They were in diapers and strollers, and I dragged them out because I couldn't wait to get started as a parent.
Sometimes you have to wonder who's having more fun, the little kid or the parent. Take a look and see if these scenes are familiar. Little kids and older kids have been chasing fun at Lagoon now for 100 years. In a moment, we'll take a look back and see how it all began. And the mysterious disappearance of all of Lagoon's fish. This is Primetime Access.
Now, some might think it's crazy to hire 1,000 employees, 600 for the first time, with little or no experience. But Lagoon management has no complaints.
We're in the business to sell fun, and I think there's no better way to sell fun than with young people. And that's true with many parks around the country. It's true with Lagoon, and we're sold on young people.
We thought of taking you on Colossus, but decided that the log flume would be just fine, thank you. So stick around for our big finish. They tell me this could be a real splash. We hope you've enjoyed our program here at Lagoon. We wish them a happy 100th birthday. Hang on. Shirley Thomas will be hosting the program tomorrow. I plan to recover from this. Until then, remember to keep your hands and your feet inside the car and have fun. Say the coast is clear. Welcome back now to more primetime access from Lagoon, and this part of the park is called Pioneer Village, where they have a shootout like that about 3 times every day. Lagoon itself dates back almost to pioneer times, and reporter Allison Barlow has been looking into a century of amusement park history.
You know, the thing that struck me, I wonder what folks 100 years ago would have thought if they could have even got a glimpse of today's Lagoon.
I don't think anybody from 100 years ago even get on Colossus.
I doubt that very much. They might recognize a few things, the shootout, the swimming, and perhaps the eating. But Lagoon didn't start out as a place for spine-tingling chills. It's a jubilee, a salute to a place where we go faster and farther and higher than we really dare. After the first very scary ride,
They haven't come at least once, and that's a long time. I was about 6 years old when my parents first brought me, and the park was much smaller, but to me it was tremendous.
Lagoon started delighting 6-year-olds in 1887. Former Governor Simon Bamberger created the park. Old-timers remember his Bamberger Railroad that once ran between Salt Lake and Ogden. The former governor wanted an amusement park to attract passengers. He called it Lake Park because it was on the shores of the Great Salt Lake. For 50 cents, you could swim, dance, bowl, or roller skate. But in the early 1900s, the lake started to recede, leaving sticky blue mud along the shore. So Bamberger changed the name and moved the park a couple miles east to its present location around a lagoon. The first thrill ride at the park started up in 1906. It was called Shoot the Chutes, a tame cousin to today's log flume. Later that year came the merry-go-round, and it's still going round today.
We'd never let the merry-go-round go, and it's a real merry-go-round. The animals are hand-carved. It's one of the better ones in the country. We actually have people coming from all over the country to see this merry-go-round, so we're very proud of it.
In 1921, things really went downhill fast at Lagoon. Up and down, that is, on wooden tracks at terrifying but exhilarating speeds. coaster ran until World War II when Bamberger shut down the park. It remained closed for several years. That's when the Freed brothers took over. The brothers painted and cleaned and fixed up the old rides. Plus, they added the most popular attraction of the time, dancing to the big bands.
And we used to come all dressed up, and when the big bands would come in, it was always packed, and we always had such a good time.
When the big bands gave way to rock and roll, Lagoon gave up public dances. Instead, they added several live entertainment shows, the Opera House and Pioneer Village. Peter Freed says he can't think of anything he'd rather do than provide fun for nearly 1 million people a year.
I think it's wonderful. You know, there are many parks that have lasted 100 years. You can count them all on one hand. And to think that here in Utah we have an amusement park that lasted 100 years, I think it's kind of neat.
What else do they have planned at Lagoon, Allison, after the first 100 years?
Well, remember when this pool was a big attraction? For 75 years, it's been the 1 million gallons of water fit to drink.
That's how they used to build it when it was one of the few places you could go swimming around here.
That's right, but it sort of dropped off in the last few years, and they figure they've got to do something spectacular out here, or maybe even close it. Plus, they'd like to add a couple more multi-million-dollar thriller-chiller rides.
That's what the kids seem to like. Thank you very much, Allison. Let me show you one more attraction that's been at Lagoon for just about as long as anybody can remember. It's over here by the lake. It's not the lake itself, although that certainly has been here all the time. It was the fish, the literally thousands of carp that lived in the lake. They became such an attraction unto themselves, as a matter of fact, that Lagoon installed these vending machines so the guests could feed the carp. This year, when they opened the park, mysteriously, all of those carp were gone.
We lower the lake every winter, but they never bothered them before. This year when we brought the lake back up, they weren't there. We had thousands of them. We haven't seen them floating on top of the lake. We don't know what's happened to them.
Lagoon calls this the mystery of the missing carp. Of course, this situation just won't do, and they plan to restock the lake right away. We'll take a break and then be back to show you the ropes of getting a summer job at Lagoon. This is Primetime Access. Is from up here on the Sky Ride. Lana Beecher is giving us the tour. She's one of the park coordinators. She's been working here for 3 years. That means 3 years ago she had to stand in line with hundreds of others in order to apply for a job. It happens every year, and Alexis Fernandez gives us a report on how it goes.
It's a cold winter day in March. These kids are already standing in line waiting to apply for a summer job. Not just any summer job. These kids want one of the 600 new jobs offered at Lagoon.
You'll need one of these.
Thank you.
And you'll need one of those. You're how old today? All right. You're how old today?
17. For these first-timers, applying for a new job can be a nerve-wracking experience. Some of them even brought along moms, brothers, and sisters to help them get through.
He's nervous but excited about his first job. So he wants to fill everything out right, not make any mistakes, make a good impression.
Why do you want to work at Lagoon?
Because it's a fun environment. And last year I worked in games and I liked it. I decided I wanted to come back to be in the front.
A lot of kids are here because they think, because they have friends that are working at Lagoon or their parents, they all go apply down at Lagoon. And a lot of them are having a hard time finding a job this summer.
16-year-old Audrey Peterson is one of the few who got a second interview on the spot.
But I really feel like that Audrey is going to be a great part of the games department, so we want to welcome you aboard, okay?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Audrey goes through 3 different orientation sessions to learn just what makes a good Lagoon employee.
The purpose of our meeting today is to acquaint you with general park policies. We need to make sure that each one of us treats every guest in the right way so they'll feel comfortable and want to come back and have a good and a fun time with us.
Fun is serious business. It's big bucks for Lagoon. 2/3 of Utah's population passes through these gates every summer. safety comes first. Each employee goes through training and more training. They have to understand just what makes Lagoon popular: courtesy, safety, honesty, and cleanliness.
Spend a couple minutes after you've done your display or before, whatever you like, and just make sure your game is clean, okay? Sweep the floors, clean the counter, everything like that.
If your game's clean, that's a reflection of your attitude and how you're feeling that day. If you're feeling professional and ready to go, then your game's going to reflect that.
It's almost overwhelming, all this schooling just to learn how to operate a 50-cent game.
There's a lot of rules. I don't know, it seems really confusing when they tell you about it at first, but I think that, you know, in time it'll just get to be habit and you won't even have to think about them, you know, you'll just be able to do them.